What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Lauren. If you're new here, new setup, new couch. It's not quite styled in the way that it's quite ready for the full reveal, but I went so back and forth on posting this video. Like, I think I even went on Twitter and I was like, guys, this feels really icky. Should I even finish this video and add to the insane gossip train that's like plowing through the SWIFTIES right now? Because it has nothing to do with Taylor's music. Nothing. But it does honestly feel like all 50,000 of my subscribers have hit me up in the last 2-3 weeks asking my opinions, wanting to know where I stand, and honestly, it's been very overwhelming to try and know what to do and to try and keep up. Before I get into my deep dive research video, because that's what this is, grab some wine and snacks, get comfy for this long deep dive video. I did a ton of research, but I do want to start it off with a little small rant slash disclaimer of mine. I am not here to tell you or anyone how to feel. I'm not. I'm also not trying to diminish how anyone out there might feel related to this topic or how anyone felt when they read the news, because I don't have the right to do that. They're valid and they're not for me to tell you to not feel them, okay? I stand with all marginalized communities, and you have every right to feel however you feel upon hearing this news about your favorite pop star. I cannot stress that enough. In case you are new here, or in case my 7 years on YouTube hasn't taught you anything, but I do not stand for racists, sexists, misogyny, discrimination. I believe all people should be treated equally. In case you can't tell, I am like so freaking nervous to even share my thoughts on this topic out of fear that someone is going to take offense to something I might say, because even me not saying anything, I got attacked in my DMs already for not saying anything. I'm just being real with you guys that I'm trying my best here to do my own research and fact check everything myself so that I can form a well-rounded opinion. I found out about this news, like most of you guys did, from the tabloids, which, might I remind you, is not always the most truthful. If anything, they might find some truth and then do anything that they can to push their agenda of getting you to view, click, and share. Philip DeFranco said it himself: the spread of misinformation in this day and age of TikTok activism is a literal epidemic. People aren't doing their own research anymore. They're watching a 12-year-old's gossipy TikTok video and taking that as news or facts, and it's absolutely wild, to be honest. Coming from me, a pop culture YouTuber with a huge emphasis on Taylor Swift. And it's been a wild journey for me personally to try and balance this greased up tightrope of wanting to update y'all on the ins and outs of the Swiftie fandom while also feeling very uncomfortable on this thin line of appropriate topics to monetize and make content about, which is again why I have been focusing on my TST scripts. 2 are on their way instead of this particular one. But at a certain point, enough is enough. I am just starting to see so much toxicity being spewed from every inch of our fandom. Like, makes me really sad. People are calling to boycott Taylor Swift. People are selling their merch and attempting to cancel her because of the argument, if she is seen with this grown man, then she aligns herself with everything he has done in his whole existence on Earth. Like, what? Talk about a double standard of misogyny. Taylor Swift is not responsible for a grown man's actions. That's absolutely insane to me, you guys. And I want to remind you of the reason why we're all here. Because we like Taylor Swift's music. She's also one of the only global superstars out there who genuinely wants to make a difference in her fans' lives. I know I don't need to remind you, but I'm talking, what? Secret sessions, millions of dollars donated to charities, food banks, handwritten letters and presents to fans, just you name it. She backed the Equality Act to the White House. She got 65,000 American citizens to register to vote because she pushed the importance of making your voice heard. I feel like you guys need to trust that she knows how to live her life better than we do. And then this next part might feel a little harsh, but I do feel like some of you need this dose of reality. I know that you might feel close to Taylor Swift, but you're just not. You're not her mom. You're not even in her circle of close friends. I need to remind you that Taylor Swift is a real person with real feelings, thoughts, emotions, likes and dislikes and nuances and complications that make any human a human. And it is her right to choose what of those things that she shares with us? Like, she started sharing her music with us before social media even existed. Before she knew that every little move she makes or person she'll be seen with for the rest of her life will be captured and posted to the internet to be put under the world's biggest magnifying glass so the entire world can criticize and comment on it. I know that you feel like you're invested and involved in Taylor Swift's love life because of her lyrics and the Easter eggs, and hey, when you're a fan of someone famous, I totally get how personally invested you might feel when they date someone new or they break up with someone. But I don't know, I feel like I'm just here to like set you straight. Taylor Swift deserves to date anyone, anytime, anywhere without the consent of millions of strangers. She's not in politics. Her dating life does not affect us at all. Okay, thank you for letting me get that out. I'm gonna try so hard to just explain my rational thoughts. Has anyone else out there gone out and actually confirmed the headlines and the rhetoric that's being tossed around concerning Matty Healy dating Taylor Swift? Because I did. I listened to the entire hour and 4-minute long podcast because I wanted the full context and not just a couple of clips. And I'm going to share with you everything I found. I'm going to link everything down below that I talk about today so that you can fact check me and also hear everything for yourself if you want to. And then again, before I get into it, I do also need to say that I'm not trying to defend this man, this person that I've never met or that I know at all. I promise all I'm trying to do is find the facts from a journalistic approach. Bear with me, okay? I'm gonna put timestamps in, but in case you have no idea what's going on, let's start from the beginning. Did I do my intro? If you're new here, I'm Lauren. Subscribe to my channel, lifestyle, lots of Taylor Swift, pop culture. Follow me in all the places. Patreon calendar for June just went live. Got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Let's get into it. On May 3rd, 2023, The Sun, a British tabloid, posted an article titled, "Taylor's New Love. Taylor Swift in new romance with Brit rock star Matty Healy weeks after she split from boyfriend." And the rumors started fueling up from there. This article said that a source told the gossip site that the two are madly in love, and we got lots of air quotes today, but the two are madly in love and that Taylor and Joe broke up in February and that there was absolutely no crossover between the two relationships. It's an interesting tidbit for a source to say. Anyways, the article goes on to say, both Matty and Taylor have been touring over the past few weeks, so it's been a lot of FaceTiming and texting, but she cannot wait to see him again. But as two international megastars, they understand the pressures of one another's jobs better than anyone and are incredibly supportive of their respective careers. They are both massively proud and excited about this relationship, and unlike Taylor's last one, which was kept very much out of the spotlight deliberately, she wants to own this romance and not hide it away. Taylor just wants to live her life and be happy. She's told pals Matty is flying to Nashville over the weekend to support her on the next leg of her tour, which is exactly what happened. And honestly, guys, when I first saw this Sun article, I'm sure like a lot of you were like, okay, scoffed at the rumors. And I didn't believe it until Matty Healy took a 17-hour direct flight from the Philippines to Nashville in order to attend all 3 nights of her Nashville shows. Also, I will get into some background on him in just a second, but in case you didn't know, Matty Healy is the lead singer of the band in 1975, and to add fuel to the fire, on May 4th, when Matty was performing on stage, apparently he added the song She's American back to the set list, which wasn't previously there. Could be a little Easter egg, we don't know. Not only that, but the thing that actually really started to convince me was this secret but not so secret message that Matty mouthed on stage to the camera. And then a couple nights later, with Matty in attendance at Taylor's Nashville show, Taylor was captured mouthing this, what seems to be in response. I know, yes, I know, I can't believe it either. Like, also they're using the word love, which is crazy, but it also might be a joke. But honestly, who knows anything anymore? On the flip side, this could also be an incredibly well thought out PR stunt for when the Midnight's Vault tracks get released, because reportedly, Matty Healy worked on the Midnight's album with Taylor, before her and Joe broke up, but she didn't end up going with any of that stuff, probably to go into the vault. And Taylor could just be waiting for the perfect opportunity to drop those vault tracks hand in hand with new boyfriend Matty Healy, but who knows? I don't know, guys. Okay, now quickly, let me give you a little bit of background in case you are literally starting at the beginning of this drama journey. Matty Healy is an English singer-songwriter, musician, and record producer, most famously known for being the frontman of the band in 1975. For me, the only song that I recognized from 1975 was that one big famous song, Chocolate, and you taste like chocolate, or whatever that was. I don't really know any more of their music besides that, and besides of what I've heard after doing my research for this video, and honestly, it's pretty good. They're pretty talented. He's a great songwriter and lyricist. But anyways, interestingly enough, Taylor Swift and Matty Healy have actually been seen in the spotlight together as far back as 2014. And even at that time, fans also thought some kind of flirtation might have been going on between the two. On December 4th, 2014, Taylor was spotted at the 1975 concert in NYC. Side note, with Karlie Kloss. This was actually the show that sparked a lot of the very first Karlie and Taylor are dating, Taylor is alive rumors because of this very picture right here. It does look a little questionable, but do not let a grainy, out of focus screenshot fool you. There are so many videos of this exact clip showing that it was a loud concert, and many different fans can attest that they saw her cupping her ear so that they could speak loudly to each other at a loud concert. They're not kissing. Please let the Taylor rumors die already, please. Taylor's rep has confirmed numerous times it's not real and it did not happen, so just, you have to take Taylor's words for truth. Karlie was also pictured that night making out with her now husband. Yeah. Let's please leave that in the past. After appearing at a couple 1975 shows, Taylor was known to sport a 1975 band tee from time to time, which then led to Matty wearing a 1989 t-shirt on stage, fueling the rumors back then. And then, one time, in an interview, Matty mentioned that Taylor Swift gave him her phone number once upon a time, and you know, he should have known better, that you can't just casually mention something like that about the biggest pop star in the world, because you're gonna hear about it. Here's an interview from 2015 where Matty explains exactly what happened.
A source has revealed Taylor Swift and 1975 frontman Matty Healy have been dating for approximately 2 months now.
2 months?
Sound the alarm, people. Taylor Swift gave her number to the 1975's lead singer, Matt Healy.
All these accents
in a recent
as well.
interview with Shazam Top 20,
Sorry.
Matt opened up about the whole exchange with Swift,
It is
saying,
bloody
quote,
fake. It's all fake. It's all a farce. We were kind of chatting a bit like mates by the end. And then if your mate had just met Taylor Swift, you're going to ask him about that, right? Because it's Taylor Swift. Yeah, we met each other. We exchanged numbers in the same way that a lot of people in this kind of world do. And we spoke occasionally. And then she's the biggest pop star in the world. I'm in Australia. There's no like relationship or anything happening. It's just funny how people really buy into that, you know? Well, so that didn't really happen as much as it'd be amazing for me if it did. Unfortunately, it didn't.
And then yes, before you jump down my neck, I am fully aware that there's an article and an interview out there with a direct quote from Matty saying that it would be emasculating to date Taylor Swift, which, you know, makes a great clickbaity headline, doesn't it? Once again, this quote was something that was fully taken out of context out of an entire interview. So this March 2016 interview was a feature for something called Cue the Music, which is now a website publication that no longer exists. And thank you to you beautiful humans on Twitter. I don't know how, but this incredible follower of mine somehow found the article like Xeroxed straight from the pages of a magazine, which is just so retro and badass. Thank you for sending this my way. I appreciate you. Matty Healy is quoted from this interview in 2016 as saying, "I don't do anything else, right? So it doesn't leave a lot of room for me going out or shagging someone." I love that they use the word shagging. That just sounds prettier, doesn't it? So the one time I did have a flirtation with a girl, it ends up going everywhere. I mean, I got on E! News and people were like, "Who's Matt Healy?" So that was cool, but I didn't make a big deal out of it myself. It's not really anything to talk about because if she wasn't Taylor Swift, we wouldn't be talking about her. She wasn't a big impact on my life. It's just interesting to me how interested the world is about Taylor Swift. Very interesting indeed. Asked whether he has a fear of losing himself when he enters a relationship, he replied, "Yeah, absolutely. And the reason I mention that is because if I had gone out with Taylor Swift, I would have been effing hell. I am not being Taylor Swift's boyfriend. You know, F that. That's also a man thing. A demasculating, emasculating man thing. That's the quote from that big interview article. Now, you wanna know what BuzzFeed and E! aren't showing you? I think most of you know, but some don't. Laura Barton, the actual journalist who conducted this interview, wrote a second article for The Guardian called Matt Healy's comments about Taylor Swift were not the words of a misogynist. Again, this is linked down below. I highly suggest you read this whole thing. It was very interesting to read all the drama from the author's perspective, the one who actually did the interview. Read the whole thing, but here are 3 noteworthy paragraphs that I want to read to you that she said after this whole thing blew up. I didn't think Healy had said anything particularly scandal-worthy in the time we spent talking. So I was a little startled to be told that as a result of my interview, published earlier this week, remarks Healy had made about Swift were being reprinted in the Daily Mirror, billed as a major swipe, and were then picked up in scores of magazines and websites where they were presented as evidence of misogyny. This week, his comments have been cast as a slight on Taylor Swift. According to Elle, he was throwing shade at her. I don't see them that way. I see them as the thoughts of a musician with an ego and ambition to match that of Taylor Swift, who does not want to be viewed as the subordinate in a partnership. The feelings of an artist who wants to be celebrated in his own right. Except I do hope for one thing, that the young fans of Healy and his band, perhaps even those of Taylor Swift too, might take a moment to consider their relationship with gossip culture. Because if we're going to haul anyone up for misogynistic behavior, I can think of no greater culprits than the tabloid newspapers. Preach. And if we're ever to be truly liberated from outdated gender roles, we can help ourselves by not wasting our precious time on those who perpetuate them. Wow. I couldn't agree more, Laura. Thank you for clarifying this. However, it's pretty interesting to note that Laura published this second article the same week that the emasculating dating headlines went out, and which one do you think became the bigger story? The mean words taken out of context, or the author's clarification? I think you know the answer to that, obviously. Something I also found very interesting to learn that I uncovered in my research was that in 2016, Matty Healy penned a long public letter to Taylor Swift on his Twitter. Feel free to pause here if you want to read the whole thing. Here's the part that I want to share with you. Matty said, "Hang on a minute. What I said recently about Taylor Swift has been totally taken out of context and painted me out to be some idiot misogynist. Now, I may admit to being an idiot on occasion, but I'm not a misogynist. That suggestion makes me really sad." He continued in now deleted tweets to say, "Now, if you want to talk about Taylor Swift, that is easy. Since she came to my show in December of 2014, I would say that 90% of journalists who have interviewed me have asked about either her as a person or what our interaction was like. I have said on countless occasions that I find her to be one of the most gracious, hardworking, creatively gifted, and beautiful women that I have ever had the pleasure to meet. I personally have a lot of respect and admiration for her. Why would I not? I didn't even date Taylor, but the media's incessant and brutal obsession with her has meant that even a guy who didn't date her has been so battered by their never-ending questions that he's inevitably said something that can be lifted and molded into something that resembles shade. It's really sad." All right, so that's that. Please let me know your thoughts on that whole part of the video, because I feel like a lot of people just don't know the whole story. Like, it's fun to just read a BuzzFeed article and read a headline and just take that and use that as an argument on Twitter, and it's just, I don't know. All right, moving on to the next scandal, and it's actually a pretty big one. Is Matty Healy an anti-Semite? That's the headline I've been seeing everywhere because he's been reportedly filmed doing a Hail Hitler Nazi salute on stage multiple times. Also, I'm Jewish, and I feel okay sharing my thoughts on this particular topic. I don't speak for all of the Jewish population, but I just want to share my thoughts with you. Because I'll be honest, when I first saw these headlines, I was really shocked. Casually throwing up the Nazi salute is a pretty big deal in my book, especially considering that anti-Semitic hate is on the rise in our country. But every single article or tweet that I clicked on wrote about what he did on stage. I couldn't find any actual video proof, so I went to TikTok and YouTube to find the videos myself, and I did. Here are those videos here, and it just, I gotta continue before I speak on that. The song in question that Matty's performing on stage is called Love It If We Made It. And just to give you a full picture of what this song is about, the second line in the entire song is literally saying controversial things for the hell of it. So, We can start there. Or we could start with Matty Healy's interview on the Genius YouTube channel where he goes through this song line by line to clarify what it means. He explains that the entire verse in question is him directly quoting Donald Trump and trying to convey how insane Trump's words are. Here's the full clip of him explaining.
Love It If We Made It is the gem of hope amongst all of the rubble. You know, I don't want to do a protest song, still be introspective, but not so much like my diary. Immigration, liberal kitsch, kneeling on a pitch, Kaepernick, peaceful protest and standing up for what one believes in. It's not anti-democratic, it was fucking awesome and restrained, American and constitutional and all these words that you hear. I moved on her like a bitch. That's a direct quote from the sitting president of the United States. Like, that's a weird reality. It's like when the radio plays your songs, they don't play swear words. I would have to be censored for literally quoting the leader of the free world. Excited to be indicted. It's like, he doesn't care. If he got indicted, he'd just be able to play more golf. An unrequited house with 7 pools. Thank you, Kanye. Very cool. The Kanye thing really confuses me and kind of upsets me a little bit as such a massive, massive Kanye fan. The bizarre affiliations that he was making.
On April 25th, 2018, Donald Trump tweeted out, "Thank you, Kanye, very cool," in response to a Kanye tweet about how much Kanye loves Trump. That is where the line in the song is coming from. That is why full context matters, people. I've seen so many articles and tweets and TikToks being like, "Oh my God, Matty Healy, how can you support Kanye West and do that salute?" when clearly the only reason Matty included that in the song and on stage is to directly point out how wrong these words and actions are. He's not saying, "Thank you, Kanye, I think you're cool." Like, I've seen so many people comment that. How could he say this? Thank you, Full context, that's what matters. So yes, there are clips of him performing on stage, doing some type of marching and like putting his hand out, but also I looked it up and apparently the real Hitler salute is done with your right hand, I think, and he does it with his left and then his right, and he kind of switches it up every time. Also, Matty Healy has been very outspoken about how he's against anti-Semitic behavior. His fans have like called him out before and he's apologized and owned up to it. He's also friends with Jack Antonoff and a bunch of other Jewish artists. Jack Antonoff is the one that reintroduced Taylor and Matty. And also, did you know that Jack Antonoff is doing a performance with the 1975 soon? Is anyone else blowing up Jack Antonoff's DMs right now and calling to cancel him? Nope, just Taylor's. Again, clarification, I personally am of the camp that even doing a salute like that or any kind of crude joke for edgy humor is not funny or attractive in my book. That's just me. I do not speak for the entire Jewish population, like I said, but I personally do not take any offense to this particular thing that people are claiming because unlike Kanye West, Matty Healy has never used his platform to push the white supremacy agenda, which is actually at the end of the day what matters. It is. Matty Healy also called out Kanye West in a February 2023 interview saying he's obviously someone who's dealing with grief and has mental health issues, but that's not an excuse to do like anti-Semitism, adding that he's all for blurring the boundaries, but he thinks that Kanye West went too far. Those are his words. A line in a song could be spoken from any point of view. It's just, yeah, I just want you guys to know that fully before I move on into the next part. On to what might be the most talked about controversy is the podcast interview where Matty Healy talks about watching porn from a website that is known for the brutalization of Black women. Yeah, I don't even know how to talk about this. I'm a white woman, so I feel very strange even addressing this topic because I'm all about amplifying oppressed voices. And regardless if Matty watched this website or not, he said it. It's fucked up. It's not an okay thing to do or to say or to support or to even if it was a lewd joke, it's not funny or an appropriate one. I'm gonna try my best here, guys, but please remember that I wanna hear from you and listen to what you guys have to say. And you also don't have to listen to anything that I'm saying just because I'm over here just trying to find the truth. I wanna look at the full picture of who this person is, not just 1 hour from a dumb podcast. He said what he said. It was wrong. It still is wrong. And you are allowed to feel how you feel because of his idiotic remarks and choices. I asked you guys on my YouTube channel, Instagram Reel, and on my TikTok to sound off in the comments on your honest thoughts surrounding Taylor being linked to this new guy. And I want to start this part of the video by reading some of the things you guys have sent me, and then I'll get into the details of what happened. Again, I really don't want me sharing my thoughts here on this issue to be seen as me trying to downplay the severity of what's being claimed. Sexual assault is not a joke, racism is not a joke, and supporting anything even close to those topics to be seen as an edgy onstage performer, it's not okay. Not okay at all. That is where I stand. All right, let me read some of the comments that you guys have left for me. Healy has said some concerning things in the past, I'll admit that. But I think if you dig even a little deeper than all of the stuff that's being repeated, I think one will get a more nuanced portrait of who he is. I don't think he's anywhere close to the snarling villain some fans make him out to be, nor is he Nelson Mandela. Humans are more complicated like that. Also, the idea that if they are dating, she must agree with everything he believes, please. That's not how it works. I know married couples that don't agree with each other on things such as politics, society. I agree. I agree with that comment in its entirety. Someone wrote, as a black man, I really take offense at Taylor's intentional choice to associate and be seen with a man who says he gets gratification from black women being brutalized. It's clear to me that the Miss Americana doc was purely PR. She will not stand up for or speak out in support of marginalized communities unless it's a relatively non-controversial issue like marriage equality. She used my community, I'm queer, to enrich herself through You Need to Calm Down and is still doing so on tour, but she hasn't said a word about the trans genocide happening across the country. She's aligned herself with a racist and misogynist for what? Because he's got a good eggplant? I'm so disheartened by her. It's a really sad comment to read. I've gotten a lot of comments similar to this from people of color writing me their thoughts and opinions, and I feel like I wanted to read out the things that you guys have to say on how you feel about this, because your voices are what matter here. I'm just the middleman, I guess. I don't know. As a person of color, I no longer feel safe going to my era's concert. Matty Healy is racist and supports the abuse of people of color. If Taylor is dating him, she shares those views, and Swifties mirror Taylor. I don't want to be hurt going to a concert. Next comment in response. Girl, nobody is gonna hurt you. Stop being so dramatic. There's plenty of POC people going to her concerts, including myself. Matty has spoken multiple times about racism and how angry it makes him that it's still happening. Sometimes he's just an asshole that likes to joke for the sake of being canceled. Next comment. Why is racism even a topic to joke about? Where's the punchline? I agree with that. That's what I was trying to talk about at the beginning of this video. Like, feel however you feel. Next was something that was sent to me in my DMs. His fans call him out on his bullshit when we see it. And I guess as fans, we are more inclined to listen to him when he does mess up, or we know the actual context versus a sensationalized headline that is made to grab your attention and incite emotional responses. Matty Healy can be a dumb idiot, but he has always used his platform to speak out against things that anger him, to advocate for people being suppressed. He time and time again shows his appreciation and love for his fans through the smallest and largest of gestures alike. He breaks down toxic masculinity walls, which we were just calling him out for. Honestly, look at videos of him with his bandmates and the truly incredible friendship he has with them, where he's not afraid to kiss and cuddle his guy mates. All I know is that Matty Healy, as much of an intrusive thought he can be, he is never above apologizing and learning from situations. Obviously, he's making Taylor happy, and that makes me happy. Next comment. It's been hard for me to formulate my opinion on this because there's so much info. His jokes or stage persona is not okay and it's inappropriate. I've also seen him give well thought out interviews advocating for people of color, LGBT, and other ethnic minority groups as well. So the contradiction of who Matty Healy really is also troubling. I also agree that Taylor seems to be the only one getting backlash for associating with him, even though Phoebe Bridgers, a Jewish, outwardly bi woman, is close friends with him, or Jack, who's also Jewish and has produced 1975 albums and has also been seen out with Matty and Taylor, which also calls into question, yes, exactly what I was saying. Why is it just Taylor getting the heat for associating with him? And also, is the real Matty the one who has given those well thought out interviews advocating for minority groups and speaking up about human rights issues? I'd like to believe that's the real him, given the context of everyone else who associates with him, but I don't know. So yeah, thank you so much to everybody who sent me a message about this, whether anonymously, whether publicly. I really appreciate the discourse we've been able to have around this topic because it's offensive. This is messed up stuff that's being alleged and talked about and things that he said. And thank you for having that conversation with me. Thank you for continuing it down in the comments below. I want to know what you think. What I'm saying is coming across okay. I'm trying so hard to be extremely sensitive for these topics and just really just give you facts. That's what I'm going to do. So as I continue to do that, I'm linking the entire hour-long conversation, the podcast in question down below, but I have to warn you, this podcast is not for the faint of heart or for the easily offended. It's kind of disgusting. It's very crude, very crass. They talk about really fucked up topics and say extremely offensive things, and it was like listening to a weird man competition of who could say the most outlandish and ridiculous thing on air to one-up each other. Ugh. I didn't enjoy it. I listened to it in sped up version, but the range of topics that they talked about included what it's like to shit on the moon, why women's periods are synced up, using the R word freely. I hate that so much. Switching the lyrics of famous songs with different ways to say male genitalia. Yes, really. So, on February 9th, 2023, Matty Healy went on this podcast called The Adam Friedland Show. Again, this is not promotion for them. I do not recommend listening to these hosts because it's just not the kind of humor that I'm into or what I consider quality content. The news and headlines around this podcast appearance will tell you many, many things, and I personally think you should listen to it in its entirety if you're offended by it. I want to reiterate what I said earlier on, that sexual assault is not a joke. It's never been a joke, and I want to make that very, very clear. You are fully allowed to be offended by what Matty Healy said on this podcast or what he agreed to during this conversation and what he laughed at. I don't want anything that I'm saying in this video to make you feel bad for feeling offended. Be offended. If this is a real porn site like the news is talking about, oh my God, it's so fucked up. I can't believe things like this aren't illegal in our country. Okay, so the tabloid articles I read kept saying that Matty Healy was making fun of Ice Spice, a rapper who Taylor Swift is actually featuring on her new track Karma that drops tonight as of filming this. But I do want to point out that if you go to timestamp 20 minutes, 33 seconds, you'll hear that it's actually the two podcast hosts who start to say terrible things about Ice Spice. And trigger warning, these are not nice things. They called her a chubby Chinese lady, and then someone else called her an Inuit Spice Girl. Neither of those two people were Matty Healy. Matty Healy is the one in the British accent. He did not say that. It does sound like he was laughing at these terrible, horrible jokes, and he did not call them out right away. But just, again, full picture. I just want to give you the full picture of this really disgusting conversation. Matty Healy did come out and apologize to Ice Spice afterwards on stage. Regardless if you or if Ice Spice accepts his apology for being a part of that conversation, I still think it's good to know that he really did apologize. He did.
It's not because I'm annoyed that me joking got misconstrued. It's because I don't want Ice Spice to think that I'm a dick. I love you, Ice Spice. I'm so sorry. But I don't want anything I get misconstrued to be mean. Like, I don't mind being like a bit of a joker, and there's so many people here that are like, what the fuck is this part of the show? Does he do this all the time? I know that you know that I do. But like, I don't want to be, it's okay for me to be like a trickster or whatever, but I don't want to be perceived as like kind of being hard. Because honestly, I just love you guys and I love doing this, and you know. So the truth is, I've been coming out on stage and I do all this kind of stuff, and it's all a bit of a put on, because the truth is, I just want to say like, hello, this is a bit embarrassing. I'm sorry if I get it wrong. We all get it wrong, you know, like, and I just have to do it in public and then apologize to Ice Spice, so my life's just a bit weird. But I am genuinely sorry if I upset her, because I fucking love her. But
another timestamp I want to draw attention to from this interview is at 23 minutes and 36 seconds. This is a direct quote from Matty Healy. He said, Doja Cat used to like go onto the website forum 4chan and get racially abused and stuff like that. And you can hear it in Matty's voice as he's saying it, that he believes being racially abused and abusive is a bad thing, not that it's something he's into. That is what I gathered as a listener to the whole podcast. The big part of this story is that apparently Matty Healy was having some friends over one time, and then they decided to leave. One of the girls in the group left her water bottle, so she quickly ran back inside to Matty's house to grab it, and she walked in on Matty Healy masturbating to porn. He supposedly was airplaying the porn from his iPhone to his big screen TV. The sentence that he says in the interview is, and like you said, I think it literally was like ghetto gaggers on the TV, end quote. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. That's disgusting and fucked up. It really is. But when you listen to him say the actual sentence, he's not saying it definitively. Like, I turned on an episode of Ghetto Gaggers. I watch it all the time. He said it like, you know, I think it was something like Ghetto Gaggers, like you said. And it sounds more like he's going off of what the other guy was saying from earlier. Ugh, it sounds like I'm trying to defend this part. I'm not. I'm not defending this part. It's still a gross story. It's still fucked up. It's a fucked up thing to say and do, and it's messed up joke to even go along with if it's a joke. But I do think that there's a difference in the way that he said it and the way that it's being communicated in these headlines and tabloids. So much so that these two gross podcast hosts from this episode came out with a follow-up video that was honestly very confusing and weird to watch. I don't recommend watching this. They pack a lot of gross metaphors into 9 minutes, but in their little video statement, they said that they weren't even sure if Matty was watching that specific website or not, but it just made for a funnier story because of the alliteration of the GG in Ghetto Gaggers.
You're somebody that heard that anecdote, you're like, I can't believe he watches that website. It's not like, if you know what that website is because you were looking at it.
It also probably wasn't from the website. It was probably from X videos or something.
I've never heard of that website in my life.
I hadn't heard. I thought it was funny because of the alliteration.
Yeah.
GG.
I thought it was a name you made up to...
I don't even know if he was actually watching that porn. I think he was just kind of using that name. But,
yeah.
You know, it's out of our hands now.
I can't believe I've said that so many times on my channel so far. This is a weird thing. I never thought I'd be here. But in case you don't know, because I sure as hell didn't, this website is apparently described as white men humiliating and sexually dominating black women with physical violence. Ugh, Jesus Christ. So pretty gross to even exist at all. And not defending him at all. It's a gross story. And he did say it, and he laughed at some very offensive jokes on air, which is insane to me, dude. Like, you've been famous for a long time. Maybe get a little media training or something. Honestly, while I was doing research for this video, I watched a handful of interviews, like 2-hour long interviews that Matty Healy did. And I do feel like it gave me a much fuller picture of who he is as a person. He's really smart, and he has actually gone through a lot in life. He used to be a heroin addict, and then he got clean. And he's passionate about a lot of causes, and he really cares about his fans. He's currently banned from Dubai because he kissed a male fan on stage, and being gay is against the law in Dubai. So he did that anyway. He went up to a fan and said, "Can I kiss you?" And he said, "Great." Gave him a kiss and said, "I love that I can do that. We're all just human, you know, bro? I love you." Yes, he has also been known to kiss a bunch of fans on stage. I think that's like a thing that he's done. What else weird stuff has he done? He like ate raw meat on stage once and makes like masturbation jokes, and he's just, I get the vibe that he's kind of like a F the patriarchy, rules don't apply to me kind of rock star person. And I'm new to learning about who he is. I'm just giving you the facts as I found them. Such a weird thing. Let me know your thoughts on everything I just talked about, and I hope everyone's okay. And I hope I didn't upset anybody by talking about this. I never want to try and steal the show, or my opinion is not the one that matters here. It is the opinion of those who are in these categories of these marginalized communities that are just, yeah, I love you guys, and I don't know. I don't even know how to like say what I'm trying to say. I feel like you understand that I'm really coming from a good place of just trying to get to the bottom of this whole thing. I want to be done with that. Because fact of the matter is, looks like they're dating. Whether or not it's her boyfriend, I don't think it is. So here are the newest updates, because it does seem like they are somewhat of a thing. And I'm happy that she's happy and that she has someone to go home to after a long night of performing. That's really all I want for Taylor. On May 6th, they were photographed in the back of a car on their way to her Nashville condo. And then we did get an official confirmation from Taylor's camp and Matt's camp that they like each other and are hanging out. they like each other. Like, she can't even, like, casually see someone as a 33-year-old woman and it has to be all over the news, like, whatever. They were pictured at a private club in NYC called Casa Ciprani, I don't know. But they actually don't allow photography of any kind. But someone saw them, took pictures of them holding hands at this club, kissing, cuddling. This member, whoever he is, was swiftly kicked out of the private club. Yep, that's what you get for being a little sneak. I don't feel bad for you, but I feel like the picture confirmation of them kissing and holding hands, they are seeing each other. Whether or not that means anything in the future, that's just what it is. Like I said before, Matty was at all 3 of Taylor's Nashville shows and also did a surprise performance with the opener Phoebe Bridgers, and was also at her Philly tour stop in the VIP tent, hanging with Scotty Swift, her dad. And then on May 20th at the Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, she said this on stage.
And I was thinking, there's a song from Midnights that I love so much. I haven't played it on this tour or ever. So I figured that could be fun to play with you. And I just, oh my gosh, this is insane. I just want to tell you, like, I don't know, I've just never been this happy in my life, in all aspects of my life ever before. And I just want to thank you for being a part of that. Like, you know, I don't know. It's not just the tour, it's like, I don't know. I just sort of feel like my life finally feels like it makes sense. And,
we heard it from her, you know? She said she's never been this happy in her life, in all aspects of her life. If Taylor is happy, then that's what is happy. That's literally all we can ask for, right? And then on May 23rd, Taylor Swift threw some kind of dope private party at the Electric Lady recording studios in NYC, where she's been pictured a lot lately. Hello, TS11, are you brewing in there? She threw this private party, and along with Kendrick Lamar, Matty Healy was pictured there as well. I also think I saw someone say that Channing Tatum was there too. Very random, but I'm kind of here for it. I love Channing Tatum. This video is very long, I know, but I want to wrap things up by saying one thing. Swifties, we have a persistent problem in our fandom. I don't know what it is, but I feel like what I said before, some of us have like lost sight of what a celebrity or an artist is supposed to resemble to us regular people, because the amount everyone seems to be expecting of Taylor Swift is getting out of hand. She's only one person. She's a great one person, but she cannot fix the world's problems and be there for everyone and all of the causes in the world that exist. I've seen so many people bash her online, like, why isn't she standing up for this? Why isn't she standing up for that? She used to. Why is she being silent on XYZ? Dude, yes, I do think it is important for celebrities to take their position as role models very seriously, but you are asking an impossible task of just one person, okay? She's doing the best she can, and everyone is just so quick to tear her down, and I hate that. I feel like it's the same people who wait outside of her house and swarm and scream at her when she walks from building to building are the same ones that go on TikTok blasting her for this thing and that thing. I was told that someone was literally live streaming the entrance to the party that she held at the recording studios last week. You're live streaming the entrance, guys? That is too far. That is too much. She already gives us so much of herself. Please don't ruin this for all of us. Like, I know that there is like a really scary demand for Taylor Swift right now. Guys, if you're watching this and you live in New York City, please don't wait outside of her home and chase down her cars like the insane paparazzi. Don't you remember Princess Diana? It's scary and it's wrong, and she does not deserve this. I just hope that she's okay. That's all I really have written from my script. I know that there's things I didn't cover. I tried my best. I just had so many people ask me for my opinions and my thoughts on this, and I didn't want to give you my thoughts or opinions on this until I sat down and took the time. It took me like 3 to 5 days to like really feel like I understand what he was saying, or I understand the kind of person he is. I do not understand what he was saying about the porn, and that's like that's very weird and bad, and I don't like any of that. In his other interviews where he talks about his life and the causes that he believes in, it's just, I think that full context matters. I also think that, like I said earlier, Taylor Swift does not need our consent to date someone. She also might not even be dating someone. She might just be like connecting with an old friend, having sex with an old friend, and then in a month or two she'll be done. Like, you know, like, Let her be in her Tom Hiddleston era. Hashtag justice for that summer. That was a great summer. Ooh, summer of Hiddle Swift. Love that. Love those times. I hope that the I Heart TS shirts come back. I really hope that Matty Healy wears an I Heart TS shirt. Could you imagine? I think the Swifties would actually like that. People have just become so obsessed when people are calling, like, I don't know, I know it's like the humor, it's funny to be like, ugh, mother, mother just mothering, like, I don't know if it's like just Gen Z slang and me just like not getting it, but it's just, I feel like there's like a line that has been crossed for the last couple of years and it just feels very weird. We don't know Taylor Swift. We know her job. Let her be Taylor Swift. And I don't know. Everyone's like, do you think that she's gonna say anything? Do you think that he's gonna say anything? I feel like he should. I feel like he should say something. Taylor does not need to speak for a man. She should not be held accountable for anything that a dumb man does. Right? I'm right. I know that. And it's just, in none of any of Taylor's life's work has she ever made it evident in any way that she does not stand with people of color. Of course she does. Of course she does. I'm just kind of rambling right now, but I'm just, yeah, this is a very weird, icky video topic, and I didn't really want to make this video, but everyone's asking for it, and I really miss you guys making content. I've been in like a weird decision paralysis situation, but I'm working on the TST 2 and 3 scripts. Let me know your thoughts on all of this, you guys. If you're still here watching, thank you for watching all the way through. I feel like this is a very long video. Hearing what I have to say, but it doesn't really matter. My thoughts on this are just my thoughts. You are allowed to have your own thoughts and feelings and reactions to this, so I just want to make that clear. You asked me what my thoughts are. Here's a long stinking video of my thoughts on all of this after I did my research. We've got some Speak Now trivia happening in my Patreon and happening on YouTube. Mark your calendars, it's gonna be live, open to the public. And yeah, this is the calendar of what's going on in June. I've got some merch on the way that I'm actually very excited to show you guys. This is not a video that I wanted to make or enjoyed making, so I just wanted to be done with and get back to the music and get back to the shows and reacting to her being on tour. I cannot believe that my tour stop is so far away. So far away. Cannot wait though. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, just leave a like. Please leave a like on this video, it really helps out my channel. Make sure you're subscribed with post notifications turned on because I do have a lot of content coming. I hope you guys are doing well. I've got some house updates for you too, clearly in my new couch. That's, yeah, there's like a whole story behind this couch and I've got other videos and stuff, but just wanted to get this out to you ASAP. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be kind and positive to each other and just, we will all get through this. We're all here for each other. Just, I love you. Be kind to others and everyone. And really quickly before we end this video, the New Yorker actually did a profile on Matty Healy. It seemingly seems to be his response to the controversial podcast, and he's literally just, yeah, read the New Yorker article. Let me know what you think. I honestly feel like I didn't need to edit much of the video you just watched because I feel like it kind of reiterates the point that I was making, but I don't know, it's a long article. I don't know your guys' thoughts on it. So of course, let me know what you think about the profile down below in the comments. And thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.